And welcome back to OPC Podcast.
Heyo.
Got Christina back because she's the one here to do it with. Well, I mean, I always ask a roommate.
Yeah, you could.
I don't know why I haven't. I feel like that's just awkward to ask.
Not really.
It kind of might be. Anyways, what are we talking about today? What we got on the plate for today?
Well, first we're going to take a look at Squid Games.
Netflix original.
Netflix original.
So good.
So good. You've probably have either watched it or at least heard of it.
Or seen like clips of it on TikTok. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw clips of it on TikTok. It's like, this looks interesting. Then just kept coming up. It's like, I gotta watch this.
And I really had no idea what it was about or anything going into it. I just dove into it.
Oh yeah, head first. Just
it was great.
in the bottom of the pool.
And then we'll take a look at the show Midnight Mass.
Which was really good.
Another really
great.
good show. Is Netflix original as well?
I think so, because it was done by the guy who did Haunting of Hill House and was it Bly Manor?
Yes. So today we're taking a look at a couple Netflix originals.
Which were good. And of course they're kind of spooky since it is Halloween season.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's always Halloween season. I don't care who you are. Mm-hmm. Always. There we go. I needed that to come out. Needed it. Anyway, so tell us kind of the premise of Squid Games. Just a quick outline of it. Then we'll dive in.
Quick outline. It follows people who are in debt, and they will do whatever it takes to not be in debt.
So pretty much win money.
So pretty much.
Get out of debt.
Even if that means murder or...
Well, I mean, technically you don't have to murder.
But...
You can if you want.
But they
at
did.
Certain points. At certain points.
Did.
Once in a while, they'll step in and stop you from killing each other.
Oh, but I know something like...
About?
That should have been a clue.
That's so
Sorry.
unprofessional. Unprofessional.
And burping into the mic isn't.
I can't even say it. That's
unprofessional.
That's such an amateur thing to have your phone on.
It's almost never on. Anyways.
I know. You
Okay,
always ignore me. So Squid Games. So that's how you're following the main character, Ji-hoon, who, as you can tell in the beginning, is kind of living paycheck to paycheck if he gets a paycheck.
And kind of reckless.
And definitely reckless.
Yes.
I can relate.
Yes.
So it pretty much opens up with him eating breakfast, I guess, maybe lunch something.
Yeah, I think it was breakfast.
And his mother, hands him like 20,000 won, which is like what, $40 or something?
Something like that.
I'm not sure. I do not know the exchange rate right offhand. But hands him money because it's his daughter's birthday.
And she wants him to go take her to dinner.
Yeah, get her some fried chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what does he do instead of doing that?
Well, instead of taking her to get the dinner and all that, he goes and gambles and bets on horses.
Yeah.
And before that, his mom gives him that money, but obviously that's not enough money.
Yeah.
So he takes her debit card.
Oh, he did.
And he goes to an
slyly.
ATM and he has to he's trying to draw money out, but he can't.
Because she changed her
PIN.
PIN number for it.
But the PIN number ended up being his birthday.
No, his daughter's birthday.
Or his daughter's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Which was some that seems like some young Kyle shit.
Yeah, probably.
Ah, fuck. Kyle.
So
young Kyle was such a piece of shit. Anyways. So he gets, extra, I guess like $50 or something, maybe.
Yeah,
100.
I'm not even sure how much it was, but
and he goes gambling.
Yeah,
and that seems really reckless, and you would assume he would just lose it all, and it'd be really shitty. But he fucking wins.
Yeah, he wins.
He wins.
So then at that point,
I think he wins like about $3,000 in American money.
Yeah, it was about 3,000.
Good amount. So he wins, and then of course, since this movie is leading to some not so pleasant things, he ends up losing the money.
Yeah, but how does he lose the money?
There's a hole in his fucking pocket, dog.
Right, but why did he lose the money?
Loan sharks.
Because the bookies came for him.
Yeah, the loan sharks probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, they chased him. He ran to this chick. She
pickpocketed him.
Cut his pocket.
Yeah.
Took the money. fucking slide shit, man. I don't get how people are that fucking smooth.
I don't get it either. Really, but if you did it for a living, you probably would be.
Yeah, but I'm just kind of jealous of that skill set. I wish I was that smooth as a person. I feel like it takes a lot of confidence to do it too.
Right.
Like you gotta not care and just be confident in your movements and know what you're doing.
Pretty much.
But like I said, I'm jealous of that skill set.
I'm not.
Why?
I'm fine with not being a pickpocket or a, I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
You know what pickpockets are also good at? Magic tricks.
True.
Facts.
True.
Those be the facts. Anyway, so he ends up losing money. The bookies catch up to him and beat the crap out of him. And he goes to pay him back and realizes he ain't got the money.
Yep, that money's gone.
So they pretty much pressure him into like having paid within a month. If not, they're going to take his liver or his kidney.
They make him sign another agreement. Yeah. But how he signs it is the guy punches him in the nose and tells him...
Well, it was supposed to be a thumbprint, but he did have ink.
Yeah, so the guy punches him in the nose and he has to use his blood as the ink to put his thumbprint down. Brutal already.
It's pretty dope, though. Pretty dope.
Yeah, so fast forward to, he takes his daughter... He ends up going... Oh, so we forgot one thing, though.
I didn't forget. I'll let you just ignore it. Anyways, he gave a tip to the person who did payouts at the... horse racing. Yeah. He has to go back get the
he has to go back and ask
wand back
for it.
Then he ends up taking that money and going to a claw machine shop.
Oh yeah, that's right.
To win a gift for his daughter. Right.
Yes.
And he's just losing miserably.
But he should have just bought her a gift. To be honest,
yeah, it probably would have been easier.
It probably would have been much easier. Yeah. And probably the same price.
Probably would have been less.
Maybe he felt like it was more meaningful if he won it.
But he didn't even win it. He had a kid win it.
Kid win it.
And that was the best part. Like, oh, shit. So then he ends up taking Zara out to dinner, some fried chicken or whatever.
No, they didn't get fried chicken. They got some kind of other meal that was, it's like a Korean meal, and it's almost like a junk food type of meal because
the fried chicken.
It wasn't fried chicken. It was. No, it was not.
Do we have to go back and watch it?
Yes, we can, because I'll
go back and watch it just
because he said he wished that he could have gotten her something better, and she was eating something and it was more of like a noodly type substance. And
are you saying ramen?
No, it wasn't ramen.
Are you sure?
And, yes.
Anyways.
And he was saying, I'm sorry that I wanted to get you something better. And she said, oh, well, we went and got steak before this.
Yeah.
And
went to a steakhouse.
And she said, it's okay because I really like this. I don't get this at home.
Yeah.
Because her mom believes that it's junk food. So anyways.
So he ends up giving her a gift. And what is it?
It's a gun.
But is it a gun?
No, it's not a gun.
Nah, it looks like it.
It literally is a gun, but it's a lighter.
It's a lighter. It looks like an actual gun.
Yeah.
Like, how safe is that?
Right.
Just in general.
And honestly, that's a crazy thing to win out of a claw machine.
Well, I assume they have a lot of crazy stuff in claw machines in Korea.
I do want to go there.
That'd be dope.
Just for that.
South Korea. Or Japan or something.
Japan, just for the claw machines.
Or South Korea.
Yeah.
Go I don't know, somewhere over there. That'd be dope. Anyway, so that ends, and he ends up going home for a night and stuff.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
Well, actually, wasn't it?
Long show. It's okay, he skipped some stuff.
Okay.
We can always backtrack later.
Well, what's the point in backtracking then?
I don't know, make it longer. Anyway, so what happened next?
It was tabuki. They were eating tabuki, which is spicy fish and rice cakes.
That actually sounds good. Yeah. No, I've never actually had rice cakes.
Yeah,
my friend Larry has. He says they're pretty good.
Like the ones that you can buy in the store, or
no, like in general rice cake.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never had one either. Then.
Really?
I haven't.
Yeah. No, I've never had rice cake or a rice ball.
Anyways.
What happens next?
Well, he didn't go home.
Where'd he go?
He was taking the train and stuff, and that's when he met that guy. He was taking the train home.
Yeah.
But he didn't go home.
So he was going home.
Yeah.
He meets a guy in a business suit who offers to play a game with him. I feel like I'm going to keep doing that the whole podcast.
Probably.
Anyways.
Because you're drinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so the game reminded me of Pogs, like an American game.
Yeah.
Pogs.
Poggers.
Pogs. Like, where you use the slammer to slam down and flip the pog over. And if you flip the pog over, then you win it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what the game was almost like, but it was with, like, it wasn't beanbags, but it was like...
Envelopes.
It was like envelopes, yeah, folded. One was red and one was blue, and he told him to pick one, and he chose the blue one.
Yeah.
So then the guy tells him...
Every time he flips it, he'll pay him 100,000 won.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. So he tries and he can't.
Fails.
He fails and he can't pay. So the guy told him that he could pay by allowing him to slap him across the face.
Yep. Every time he lost. But I feel like they go for hours on hours doing this, but it's probably maybe like 40 minutes doing this. I would assume.
Right. I'm pretty sure that he thought they were going for hours and hours too.
Well, I felt like it, man. Getting slapped in the face. It gets to the point where he finally flips the other guy's envelope. I'm just going to call it envelope.
Yeah, because it looks like an envelope.
He got so excited he went to go slap the guy.
Yeah, the guy was like, no,
and
here's your money.
He stops him and he just pays him.
Right.
And gives him a card.
And the card had a phone number on it.
Anyways, he goes home with all this money and gives money to his mom, and his mom's asking him how he got the money and stuff. Yeah. Grilling him about it.
Pretty much.
Anyways, thinking he stole it or some shit.
Which makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just get a job?
I don't know. So
he ends up calling the number on the back of the card. It's to play another game, kind of like he was playing already. And they tell him be at a certain place at a certain time, and they end up picking him up. And when he gets in the field, he notices other people in there who are asleep. He assumes they're asleep, and he's asking questions, and then it just goes, and gas fills up the car, and he passes out. I can't remember if that's where it ends the episode or not, the first episode, pretty much.
I think it pretty much was the end of the first episode.
Yeah. Anyways, later on, he ends up waking up in a bed in a warehouse type room.
Yeah, it was almost like
with
a warehouse.
400 other people.
456.
55 other people, because he was 56.
Yeah, well, all together.
He ends up waking up in a room with 400 other people, pretty much.
Nothing. Never mind.
And they all are trying to figure out what's going on and stuff, and then comes the announcement of what's going on.
Yep.
And what's that announcement?
That they're going to play games?
To win money.
To win money, yeah.
And they drop down this giant, clear penny bank that's lit up and stuff. That's going to fill with money after each game, which is cool. I like the penny bank, though. I did like that.
Right.
So they all end up leaving a room and going to another room to play green light, red light, which I don't know if you ever played that as a kid.
Red light, green light.
Same difference.
No.
It's the same difference. No. What's the difference?
The way you say it. Red light, green light, not green light, red light. Nobody has ever said green light, red light.
I believe
it's red light, green light.
I believe I just did.
Anyways.
Thank you very much.
So yes, the classic red light, green light. I used to play that a lot in school.
Yeah, I remember playing that in school too. It was fun. Playing that on a blacktop. So that's the first game they're playing, and they're all a little confused.
They're like, okay, this is a child's game,
Right.
And
so they start the game, and one dude just bolts out to the front, and then they call red light, and he tries to stop,
but he can't because they're on gravel, aren't they, or dirt?
It's kind of like a loose dirt.
Yeah.
And he gets seen by this big doll that's giving out the red light, green light, and they eliminate him, and everybody thinks he's just gonna leave, but he gets shot.
And he gets shot.
He gets unalived.
Yeah.
He gets killed. He's done for.
Yeah.
Which was.
So then at that point, everybody was kind of freaking out.
And they thought he just fell down until they did the second part.
That's right.
When they called green light, and the dude right behind him got up to him and was telling him to stop faking.
Yeah.
And he realizes he's bleeding out.
Just bleeding out, yeah.
Then they call red light, and the dude tries to run away and gets shot. And everybody sees it this time.
And they,
yeah. And then all mayhem breaks out, and not everybody, but a large majority of people try to escape and end up getting shot.
Oh yeah, it was brutal. It was such a brutal scene.
Yeah, but the best part was the old man in the show. He's just laughing.
Theories, though. I've been reading a lot of theories.
Of course you have.
I have been. But
anyways, he's just smiling and going. He's not even counting.
He's just having such a great time.
And I don't remember if it was before this or after this where you find out he has a brain tumor pretty much.
I believe it was before.
Yeah, so anyways, our main character runs into him and talks to him because old man is number 1 and our main character is the last number 456.
Yep.
And they talk and they kind of become friends. Anyways, so the game talks and now that's where we are. As they're playing the game, main character realizes one of his childhood friends is there too.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I can't remember his name, though. Songchu.
Yeah, Songchu.
Something like that.
I think that's it. And our main character is just like on the ground at this point, and his friend is behind him, tells him he has to get up soon and move, or he'll be eliminated too because of time. And he told him just stay behind people, because then you can't see if you're moving or not.
Right.
Which, that's a good strategy.
It is a good strategy until they get killed.
Yeah. Because then now there's no one from you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the game progresses like that, and as they're closing to the end, our main character trips on a body, and someone catches him as they call red light.
Yes.
And that someone's going to confront later.
Yes, he is.
Anyways, so they catch him.
Yeah, and he's just catches, floating there.
Yeah, he's just hanging there during red light.
And they both know that they can't move.
Which, that just seems, oh my god. Yes. That would be awful.
It would be awful. To be either one. Yeah. Really.
And time was counting down at this point. It was almost over. So they call green light and they barely make it across the line and everyone else gets shot. So that's the first game.
The first game eliminated like half of the people.
Right.
It was crazy.
It was insane.
So
it went from like 456 to down like 201.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's the only number I'm going to remember.
Probably.
Going down. So then they all go back to like the sleeping areas and they're all freaking out and wanting to leave. And then like it got to the point where the guards were threatening to shoot some of them until the main character's friend pointing out a clause in the contract, and that's if the majority of people wanted to leave, they would end the games.
Yes.
So they all took a vote, and the majority of people obviously choose to end the game.
Right.
But I'm about to burp if you want to keep going.
But I don't know where you're going with this.
Like what happens next. Anyways, so they end the game, but they say that they'll restart it if people want to come back.
If they
just meet at the same spot at a certain date.
Right.
So I do believe a majority of the people do come back.
I think most of them came back. Yeah.
After that, so then most of them end up coming back. Then you see the process of where they knocked them out and what happened afterwards.
Yep. They all ended up back there.
Yeah. Well, they like how they're taken onto like a ferry to be transferred back to the island that they're on, and how they're stripped of their clothes and put into like kind of like gym clothes.
And at this point, one of the girl, one of the main characters, the girl.
Oh yeah.
She.
67.
Yeah, she's not asleep. She wasn't asleep.
Oh yeah.
She was awake during all of it, so she kind of saw what was going on. But before all that, we did not mention that there is a police officer investigating because his brother is missing, and all the clues that he finds leads him to like this game. Yeah. So he actually sneaks underneath of a vehicle and sneaks onto the ferries. Yeah. And sneaks onto the island. So
cop sneaks on with them. And so I guess killing a guy and taking his disguise.
Yeah, I think so.
Which was weird. That got violent real quick with him.
It really did.
But I mean, he kind of had to, because what else is he going to do? Just knock him out?
Yeah,
no, because then he'll wake up and tell.
Yeah.
So this cop just goes all off the grid.
Rogue.
And just ganks a guy and takes his outfit.
Right.
Which I find weird that he so happens to fit the same outfit. As one of the guards. To find his brother. Then it shows them taking everybody in to be, I guess, processed in.
Yep.
And the main girl, 67, who you're talking about, is the girl who sold the main character's money in the beginning.
Yes, she was the pickpocket.
Yeah. She wasn't asleep, and she snuck in a pocket knife.
Yes.
Which was hella smooth again, because
it was.
Like, they lifted her up to take her off her t-shirt, and she just dropped in one of the guards, like, pants pockets. Which it's like, how do you not notice that? Like, there's nothing there.
Right.
Then, oh, wait. Then when they go lift her back up, put the gym jacket on her or whatever, she, like, just grabs it back out.
Yeah, it was smooth. But she's smooth, so, I mean...
Smooth criminal. Anyways, so that happens, and you see what's pretty much going on behind the scenes, which was cool. Anyways, what happens after that? What's going on?
Well, they are back in the bunks, right?
Yeah.
And, waiting for game 2, I guess, to start, basically.
And this is where groups start to form.
Yep.
Because our main character, I call him main character 456. I keep forgetting his name, okay? So... Ji-hoon. Meets back up with the old man.
Ilnam.
But we don't know his name till later on in the show.
Yeah.
So number one. Number one. Old man. And he ends up meeting the guy who saved him.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I can't remember what his name was.
Or his number.
But
anyways, he's there because he got hurt at work and he's not getting paid or anything. So he needs the money for his family.
Yes. So he needs...
Yeah. And you get a little bit more background of some of the characters.
Which is nice. Oh my gosh, you gotta stop.
I can't.
You can't hold it in. It's
that
possible.
Hurts.
It's fine.
That's uncomfortable. Better out than in, I always say.
No.
AKA Shrek.
Yep.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life.
Okay.
Anyway, so at this point, you meet pretty much the main group of, I guess, good guys. So it's like Jihan, the old man, the kid who got hurt at work, I can't remember his name, and then Jihan's childhood friend.
Yes. Sanwoo.
And you find out he's there because he's kind of like a businessman, but he ends up losing a bunch of people their money and stuff, and he's in debt for millions.
Yeah, and the police are looking for him. He's there trying to win the money back.
To pay stuff back and get out of trouble.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, that's the main group.
So now, like, we got these four, and they're kind of like, they've made a bond. They're like, we're going to stick together in the games and, you know, try to protect one another. And in the meantime, you have, like, a main villain guy who is...
Snake face.
Yeah, he has a snake tattoo across his face. And he's kind of starting to form his own alliance as well, with some just really, like, shit people.
Yeah, one of them's, like, a doctor, then the rest are kind of, like, just... air quotes henchmen, and then the one chick,
pretty much.
Not 67, but another chick. Let's call her. What's a good name we could give her? Because I can't remember her name.
I'm not sure. If you've seen it, you know who we're talking about.
By the way, we did watch this English dubbed and not subtitled, so
yes.
If you've seen it subtitled and not dubbed, you won't get it. But dubbed, this character's just like really over the top.
Very over the top. Very over the top.
And it's great. It really made that character too. I love it.
It really did make it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have that character.
Like, I kind of want to watch it subbed just to see the difference.
Oh yeah.
You know.
But God, I'm trying to think what we can call her.
Just girl number 2.
Digger.
I don't know.
Gold digger. Yeah. Like... Anyways, Gold Digger. Golly. And she's kind of
crazy lady. Like, I don't know.
Gold Digger has better catch to it.
Okay, but she wasn't really a gold digger.
But wasn't she?
Okay.
Anyways, she's kind of part of the kind of main bad guys little group. And then we roll up into the second game, which I cannot remember the name of it, but I do know what it is.
The second game was... What did they do on the second game?
The cookies, remember?
Oh, yes, the cookies. Okay, so... They have to,
Do you need help?
Yeah.
I know what they did, but I'm looking up the name of it. If you want just...
Okay, if I just want to talk so that this isn't, like, randomly quiet for a minute.
I guess.
But, okay, so basically, like, San Wu actually figures out, like, the challenge, though. He figures out the challenge before they go to it.
Oh, yeah.
So they go in this room, and they have to, like, pick a picture. They have to pick a picture on the wall, and they have to stand in a line behind that picture. But they have no clue. Like, it's like a circle, a triangle, a star, and an umbrella. Right. And they don't have any idea what this has to do with anything. But
Sue is the chick's name.
Sue?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Deok Sue.
Okay. So they go in this room, and they all line up behind things. So
they line up behind the shape they want.
The shape they want. So San Wu actually figures it out though.
Yeah.
Beforehand, like, because was it the girl that told him, the pickpocket girl?
I believe so.
I think it was her because she said she saw something with sugar and stuff.
So she didn't tell him what the game was, but she told him that she saw them making something with a lot of sugar.
Yes. So he figured it out. He didn't figure out he figured out what it would have to do with it, but not, I guess,
no, he figured out the game.
Did he figure out the whole entire game?
Yeah, because it's a simple game. It's called Honeycomb.
Okay.
And you have to... So you pick shape, and you have to pretty much break the shape out of this kind of like sugar cookie that they make.
Yeah.
Without breaking the actual shape.
Yes.
But he doesn't tell any of his teammates that.
Yeah, he figures out... So he chooses the circle. Of course, because that's like pretty much the easiest one.
Or triangle.
He
did triangle.
Yeah, he did triangle.
Young kid did circle. Old man did star, and then our main character got umbrella.
Ji-hun got the umbrella.
Yeah.
So what they have to do is they have to break the shape out of the cookie.
And they have a little needle.
With a little needle, without breaking the shape of
itself.
The shape itself. Yeah. Because if they break the shape of itself, any little tiny spot, they will die. They lose and they will die. Popped. Yeah. So
they get capped.
So there's many different ways. They start going through showing the people doing it, and there's so many different ways. Like the gold digger chick has a lighter.
Oh yeah, so she's smuggling in a lighter and cigarettes.
So she is heating up the needle and using it to scrape around the...
Well, she's using it to melt the sugar.
Yeah.
By heating up the needle and just dragging it across.
Right.
She's melting the sugar.
So she's melting the sugar with a hot needle.
Yeah.
Then we have...
And most people are just using the needle kind of slowly digging it.
Yeah.
Which works for some shapes, but not all shapes. But then you also got to think, if there's a crack in it after it's been, hardened and stuff, it's going to catch that crack and break it. And
exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
But our main character...
Ji-hun.
Figures out that... Because time was counting down. I think they had, 10 minutes? 30 minutes? Something like that.
Yeah.
So he figured out if he licks the back of it, it softens it and makes it easier to break.
So then you just see a whole bunch of them just start
the old man even starts doing
obsessively licking these cookies or whatever it is. Honeycombs.
Yeah.
Excessively licking them to try to get the shapes out. I can't remember who the first person was that got theirs, but...
Wasn't it our main character's first one that got his out by licking it?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, because he was the first one to figure out to do that.
Yeah, but there had already been people that broke their shape out before that.
By licking?
No, not by licking it. Just by doing
it doesn't matter who was first. I mean,
okay.
Sue did it, then she dropped the lighter to the main bad guy.
Yeah.
And he started using that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
but just like
the game was honeycomb, and they had to get
it's like a simple game, but it's so intense because like
if you fuck up, you die.
Because then we start seeing people like getting shot because their cookies are breaking.
Oh yeah,
and so or their honeycomb or whatever.
Oh, and that has to be even more intense because that loud noise just makes you jump.
Oh yeah, definitely. As you're trying to like
get it out.
Yeah, and so obviously the umbrella shape was the hardest one to do.
Oh yeah,
like by far.
No doubt.
But all four of the people that we're following, all four of them, they get through it. They make it through. They get their shapes cut out. So they survive. And then, of course, most of the bad guys group, they also make it through.
Yeah. And mainly it's just all the bad characters.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, that was the second game. And that was a really intense game.
It really was.
Of everything, I think that was the most intense.
No, the most intense one that I think... I'll talk about it when we come up to it.
So after that, they all go back to their bunks.
And is that when the fight breaks out?
I think so. I think, yeah, there's a fight that breaks out, and the bad guy ends up killing another guy.
Yep.
I don't think he meant to, but he just beats out of him and killing him. And you see that the player number count goes down, and they add more money to the bank, because every time someone dies, they add money to the bank.
They add money to the bank, yes.
So it turns out, we can just kill people and win that way.
Yep, pretty much.
So things get really intense, because it's not just like going from one game to the next. They play like every day. Just
it's like game. Every day, yeah. So like they have to go to sleep and stuff like that.
So one guy ends up dying, and they all go to sleep, and then at night all hell breaks loose because like people just start attacking each other.
Yeah, because they figure if we can drop that number down,
they have a better chance
of winning.
So that happens, and I do believe the guards end up stopping it and bringing boxes for all the dead people.
Well, what happens is that fight all breaks out, remember? And then it's like so intense, and then the old man gets up on a bed really high up, and he starts screaming, and he's like, "Stop, you're scaring me, stop. And also, like, obviously I'm not going to bring this up until the end, but there is a thing I read about this part, so I will bring that up at the end. Right. But yeah, so the old man, basically, the guards come in after he's freaking out and
stops everyone from fighting. And then they collect all the dead bodies. And it shows them incinerating them, but then you see one body that just kind of drops.
Yeah.
Like they don't incinerate it, like it drops down, then like the floor goes back up, like it's still there, and they turn it on. And you come find out the doctor in the second group is helping some of the guards harvest organs to sell in the black market.
Yep, they're harvesting organs.
Yeah, and by doing that, the doctor gets to know what the next game is.
Yeah, they give him like, they tell.
They tell him straight up what the next game is. They
straight up tell him what the next game is. Yeah, so the doctor knows what the next game is, but I don't know if he ever shared that information.
No,
I don't think he ever did. I think he kept that to himself.
Probably, I would too.
Yeah, I mean, I would too.
Anyway, so after that, the next game is Tug of War.
Tug of War, yes.
Oh, yes. Tug of War. Ew. Oh.
And you think, okay, Tug of War, but
I didn't think this game would be as intense and like just so. Like I didn't think I would get into this game as much as I did. So they get split up into 10 groups of 10, and just 7 of them.
Yep.
So that means 70 people left at this point.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so they end up getting, simple math. Thank you, school. I appreciate you. They end up getting broke into groups, and the main bagger guy pretty much picks all, like, just muscular men and shit, or big guys.
Yeah, they don't want women and older people on their teams.
Yeah. And so Sue pretty much gets screwed out of that, even though she has had relations with him, and he said
they hooked up in the bathroom,
and he said that he'd be with her to the end.
Right.
We all knew that was a lie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely,
he's just getting what he wanted.
Exactly.
We all know that.
So that happens. Then Tug of War comes along, and she's pretty much just left out on her own.
Yeah. So she joins Jihan's group.
Yeah, pretty much out of just no one else.
Yeah.
So Jihan's group is him, the old man, the kid.
Yep. his friend, the girl,
67. Who else?
It's also a couple other just random guys they found.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also the gold digger.
Sue, yeah.
Sue, yes.
God, that leaves us with two. Who else? Oh, the one chick that 67 found.
Oh, yes.
What was her name?
I cannot remember her name, but
me neither. Then there was someone else I can't remember who.
Right.
So like they don't have like the best physically.
They don't have the strongest team. Yeah. But they have smarts.
They do.
They have smarts. So they have strategy.
The first, yes. So they've watched the first group go up. It's God, it's killing me. I can't remember.
The main villain.
Snakeface.
Yes, his team.
His group against some random group. They end up winning. So they strapped them to the rope that they're using to play tug of war. And
like with handcuffs, right?
Yeah, with cuffs. And they're up on a platform. And if you lose, you fall off the platform. And a guillotine comes out and chops the rope that you're hanging on. And you fall to the ground and die.
Yep.
So that's what happens. So Snakeface group wins. Then it's next group up is our main characters group, 456. Yes. This group versus I think like an all male group, just like young guys. And as they're going up in the elevator, the old man says he knows how to win, and somebody's giving him shit. Like,
of course, because like, why are we gonna take advice from this old man?
Exactly. But he comes up with like a good strategy. It's like the first 10 seconds, all you have to do is hold them in place, and just he told him how to lean back and just look up and hold them and stuff.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked well, and they started pulling them, but then they started losing. They started losing ground.
Yep.
And I do believe it was 456's friend that said, on 3, just like move a couple feet forward.
Yes.
To throw the other team off balance, which is a good strategy. And Sue, our resident gold digger, is like, no, I don't want to. I'm scared and all this shit. But they end up doing it, causing the other team to fall, and they just yank the rope and win.
Yeah.
So the other team dies, and it just kind of time skips past all the rest.
Yeah, all the rest. Yeah, because obviously we are only interested in the main characters.
Right.
Okay, really quick, because her name is not Sue. It's Minio.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's Minio. And Sue is the bad guy.
Oh, whatever.
Jang Deoksu.
Well, now we have that.
Yes.
All right, so Snakeface is Sue.
Yeah, Deoksu.
What was...
And then hers is Minio. Han Minio.
Han. It was Han, because that's what I'm going to be able to remember, because I have crap memory.
Yeah.
So, just retract
I'll
everything I just said and put the right name in. You know where we are. We are. You know what's going on.
I'll keep this list in case you want to know.
Yes.
Oh, and Ali was the...
Ali, that's right. How did I forget that?
Ali was the friend. Was the Indian friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, man,
It's all good.
No, I'm just so upset
with
that what happens to him. No. I'm upset what happens with Ali, man.
Yes.
Fuck.
Okay, so we are past the third game now.
So
which was tug of war. We are past the third game.
And they all go back to the bunks for the night, and there's quite a bit less people there now.
Yeah. I think at this point they're just all so tired and they're exhausted, and they're just like... So they set up like...
Well, they stay in their own little groups now. They're staying with each other.
Yeah.
And since the previous night was chaos and people were just killing each other.
Yep. They set up barriers.
456's group kind of barricades themselves into a corner with the bunk beds to protect from Sue's group, Snakeface's group.
Yep.
And Snakeface walks over as they're building the barricade, and oh my god, our main character just so sly, man, just so smartly just plants this little seed of doubt in his head about his group.
Right.
Like, do they really trust you? Or do you really trust them?
Like,
do you think that they won't kill you too?
Right. Which put like so much like doubt and fear in his mind.
It did.
That was enough to get him to like go back over there and just be like,
tell him, we're not going
tonight. We're not doing anything. Like, we're gonna just like we'll stand watch, but we're gonna rest.
Yeah. So that was a good play.
Yeah.
And our main character groups has, watch house throughout the night as well. And 456 ends up doing a watch shift with the old man, number one.
Yes.
But as he's doing watch out, he starts to hallucinate.
Well, actually, the first to watch were just the friends. Yeah. But okay.
Because there's no main backstory.
True.
Anyway, so it's him with Old Man, and before Old Man joins him, he's there by himself, and he just starts hallucinating.
Yeah.
And you can find out it's from PTSD from where he used to work. I think it's like a steel mill or something like that.
Something like that.
I can't remember. Where their union was, protesting, and they had set up barricades similar to what they had in the bunk room.
Yeah.
That way they couldn't be kicked out and stuff.
Right.
And he's telling the Old Man about it and talking about how he watched one of his friends die.
Yeah.
There. And you come find out from that is what caused him and his wife to be separate, like how they split.
Right.
It's from this trauma from stuff that happened at his work.
At his work, yes.
Yeah. Which I love that. I love that they put that detail in there.
Yeah, it is nice.
It is. Because it gives you more, more to grasp on with the main character to like.
Yeah, exactly.
And anyways, so then the next group wakes up to take over for watch, and Old Man goes to sleep.
Yep.
Trying to remember what happens next.
I think pretty much we're going into the fourth game. I don't think
which is
really like.
Well, they come in and wake them all up. I don't remember why. Instead of just turning on the lights and letting them wake up, they come in and wake them all up and make them. Oh, okay. Because at this point, I do believe the cop is getting around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And messing things up on the inside of this whole game.
Right.
I think they go in there to, look for him and make sure everybody's still there.
Yeah, pretty much.
So when the Old Man wakes up, you see that he's peed to bed. Which is pretty embarrassing on its own. And they get them all lined up to go out to play the next game. So, our main character offers him his jacket. To wrap around his waist. Yeah, so no one can see. Which, oh my god.
Yeah.
There's no way you can hate this main character,
I know.
He messes up, and you can see that, and you can judge him for that, but he is good at heart,
Yeah, such a good person.
Yeah.
So the fourth game was...
Marbles.
Yeah. How many... They played 6 games?
So, first game was Red Light, Green Light, Honeycombs, Tug of War, Marbles.
Glass Floor.
Oh, I was going to say, I was just thinking. Yeah. So, 6 games.
So the next one... Well, they're playing... Marbles. They're playing marbles, but they're playing like a game.
Like you can make up any game you want.
Any game you want with the marbles. So they have to play a game involving marbles, but it's not necessarily like traditional like American marbles that we know.
Well, I mean, similar.
Some of them were.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of them played like original marbles instead of doing with your thumb. They were throwing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it with my thumb.
But a lot of them also did the guess how many is in my hand.
Oh yeah.
Odds and evens.
Yeah, odds and evens.
Yeah.
Is what some of them played. But before they knew they were playing marbles, they all had to team up.
Yeah.
And there's an odd number.
Yeah, and
of people because the night before the doctor ended up getting himself killed, along with all the other guards that were selling the organs on the black market.
Yes.
So yeah, they end up getting killed, and as the group's walking to the next arena or whatever, they see the bodies hanging in the like weird hallway area that they walk through. So now there's a odd number of people instead of even. So that leaves Han, Gold Digger, by herself without a teammate.
Yeah, well, because like nobody really wanted to pick a woman and nobody wanted to pick the old man.
Yeah.
And it really just came down to Ji-hoon picking either between the old man or between her. And
he went with the old man. He went with
the old man because, she's like, she just said some stuff that he didn't like. And so he ended up going with the old man. Yeah. So we see her.
And the old man looked just so sad.
Oh, he did look so sad.
Yeah, no one.
I also have a theory about that scene, so.
Yes. Yeah, I really like the old man too. Anyway, so, they end up going out to the arena, and it's like this alleyway.
Before they go out to the arena, like we see her like freaking out.
Oh yeah.
And then they drag her back, and they take her out of the room, and we just don't see her again.
Yeah.
So we're just like, okay.
She probably died.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they go out the arena, and she's still standing there, and they take her away.
Yes.
So each team is given 2 sets of marbles, 10 each.
Yep.
And they have to win the other person's 10 marbles and have all 20.
So the really bad thing about this is that most of them picked a friend they had made in there. So they have to go against each other, and whoever loses dies. So at this point, there was a husband and a wife playing together.
Oh, yeah.
There was Ji-hoon and
the old man.
The old man, playing together.
67
and the other girl.
One girl that she picked her in tug of war.
Yes, and they kind of like have started to build like a friendship. And then San-woo and Ali are together. So at this point, it's like friends going against friends. Yeah. And they know that like whomever, if they win,
and
the other friend
Ali
dies.
really likes So-woon.
Yeah.
Because I did mention earlier, but like when they decided to end the first game,
right,
like they got dropped off together, and Ali lived quite a ways away, and he didn't have any money, so Sang-woo gave him money for like bus fare, and that meant a lot to him. You could tell, you know. So they stuck together, and that was very depressing.
Right.
So they find out that they have to, you know,
compete against each other.
Against each other and win the marbles.
I mean, they're all competing against each other, but like, it makes it more sad because they are going really one-on-one against each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes it sad.
And at this time, the old man who mentioned earlier, he had that brain tumor. It's causing kind of like memory loss and some dementia going on. Is getting confused and is just walking around looking for his house. Because he thinks he's, back home.
Because the way it's set up, it looks like a neighborhood.
Yeah, it looks like a back alley neighborhood.
Like little houses and alleyways and stuff like that. So he says that this is like the neighborhood he lived in a long time ago. And then you have Jihan who says, yes, this is almost similar to the neighborhood I lived in when I was younger.
Before they started the game.
Yeah,
then the game started and old man just got confused.
Yeah, so he's wandering.
For his house.
He's wandering, and Ji-hoon's trying to get him to play the game because he knows he only has a certain amount of time, and they've got to play it.
Yeah.
And so
as Ji-hoon is chasing after old man wandering around, you see people start playing. So Snakeface is playing against one of the people that's in his group, and he's losing. He's down bad.
Yeah. Yes.
He's down bad, losing. And he says he wants to play another game, a different game.
He has one marble left.
Yeah. He has one marble left. He wants to play a different game. And dude's like, no. Then he brings the guard into it and say, don't I get to choose the game as well? And guard's like, yeah. So they change game. And pretty much it's who can ever throw a marble into a hole that he dug. Yep. And whoever gets it first gets all the marbles on the outside.
Yep.
That been missed. So they start playing that. Then it goes over to Ali and Sang-woo. I had burp. Sorry.
And they're playing odds and evens.
Yeah, they're playing odds and evens. And Ali is winning. Ali's kicking his ass.
He is.
And he just gets mad and freaks out on him. To where like he's yelling at him that he's cheating and shit. And because I think he had one marble left.
Yeah, he had one marble left. Yeah, and he was like telling him that he was cheating, and Ali, like, you can literally tell he was genuine, and he was like, I'm not cheating, I've never played this before, I wouldn't know how to cheat. I would say Ali is probably one of the most innocent characters in this whole definitely,
movie.
100%.
Even though we don't get to see the background about the husband and wife. I'm kind of annoyed about that.
Yeah,
I would like to see their background.
Yeah.
So then, what's his name? Siwon? Sang-woo. Golly.
Yeah, Sang-woo.
Comes up with a plan and tells Ali
that basically
that they could play against other people as well.
Yeah, if they played against other people, that they would both make it out of this game alive. And Ali, being kind of like naive, sort of like believes him. Yeah. And we see like Ali is putting, like, they decide to split up. Yeah. And Ali puts the marbles in his pocket, and then Sanwoo, since he had like 19 of them, Sanwoo was like, "That's not safe." He's like, "I'll make you something." So basically, he like strips his shirt off, starts ripping up his shirt, and makes like a necklace type of thing to tie the bag onto, and puts it around Ali's chest.
Yeah. But sleight of hand.
Yeah, sleight of hand. Like, we find out that because he goes up as they separate, Sanwoo goes to a guard and tells him, "I have all the marbles." And at this point, we see Ali walking around, and then he sees that it's 3:00, and they decided to meet back at 3 minutes till the end, and they decided to meet back up at 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So when he goes to meet back up, he finds out that instead of him having the 19 marbles, he has a bag full of stones.
Yeah.
And Sanwoo tricked him out of the marbles and filled his bag with rocks.
Yeah.
And so
Ali ends up getting shot and
yes,
dies.
and that is the worst death in the whole thing.
I don't know.
For me, that's the worst one. Because it was just such a terrible way of doing it.
Yeah,
that is so crappy. I feel.
But then you have Jihan and the old man.
Yes.
Who Jihan's having a hard time getting him to play because he's just wanting to go home, thinking he was in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
But he gets him to play odds and evens, and Jiwoo starts to lose.
Yes, he does.
And I think it's he will have lost. But the old man got confused and didn't hear what he said, and Jihan had changed his answer so he could win that round, and
and he basically just played into his dementia. He was like,
to win,
or not dementia, but like his brain tumor and his memory loss.
Well, I think it was giving him dementia.
True, it was basically like the old man was like, "What did you say?" And he would change his answer to win. Which is kind of like...
It's sad. It was pretty sad. I mean, sad. I get it.
I get, the length that he went through to win.
Yeah.
But, it's so sad.
It is. Anyway, so, then, the old man only had one marble left, and he starts wandering again, and he ends up finding his house, saying that it was his house.
Yeah.
And, Jihan Hoon, is just Frank telling me he needs to play one more time. Yeah, he's got to
play one more time.
Yeah. And then, the old man kind of snaps out of it.
Yep.
And kind of calls him out on his shit of using his, dementia tumor thing. To lie to a friend.
Yeah, to lie to a friend.
Yeah. But the old man's, really cool about it because he gets it, and he just gives him the last marble.
Yep.
And then
we see Jihoon walking away.
Well, before that, I'm not done yet, Kali.
Okay, that's totally right.
And then you see Jihoon start to kind of break down and cry, and the old man hugs him, and tells him it's okay.
Right.
Yeah, and that's just so fucking sad.
It was very sad.
Because he knew, but
it was the saddest game.
It was.
I feel like it was just so sad.
It was sadder, even more sad than the last game.
It was.
So anyways, then he starts to walk away, and you can see, in the background of the shot of him walk away, the guard come up to shoot the old man, and you hear the gunshot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he goes back into they go back into the,
bunk room.
Bunkers, yeah.
Yeah. But he kept that one marble.
He did.
That the old man gave him the last one. Because it was green, and the old man really liked it. So they go back into the bunk room.
And I think they just sleep. I don't think anything crazy happens.
Nah, not that night. Oh, the husband of the wife and husband ends up killing himself.
He killed himself because his wife died. And he was just so sad.
Yeah. And at this point, the cop is still running around the place looking for evidence for his brother. And he sees that his brother played in one of the previous games, and it goes back to the farthest back it showed was 1999.
Yep.
And his brother was one of the winners for one of the years, right? So he's running around trying to figure out what happened to his brother, and just getting all this information. Then comes in the VIPs.
Yes, the VIPs.
Which are just a bunch of rich old people. Mostly white guys.
Mostly white
weird.
guys.
And they're wearing like golden animal masks and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you move into the last... Oh, not the last
Like, we find out that they are there to bet on
them.
And they're watching them.
Yeah, they're watching it, making bets and stuff.
And they're making bets on who's going to survive and who isn't.
Then you move into the second to last game, which was the glass
which
bridge.
I feel like that one for me was the most intense one.
Oh, yeah, it was good, though.
That one was so intense.
So the glass bridge was these square panels of glass separated every so often. There's a left side and right side, and one side was tempered, and one side wasn't. So
the tempered could hold 2 people.
Yeah, and the other side would just break through. So you had to guess as you went through.
Right.
And before that, they had them pick a vest with a number 1 through 16.
Yep. Which everybody's like, okay, you don't really want to be the last person
or the first
but for this game you kind of wanted to be the last. You know.
Small detail I forgot to mention before you move into the game. Han's still alive. Gold Digger still alive.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they come back
when they come back from the third game. They come back from the marble game. They find out that
she was just laying in bed,
not having to compete.
Or die.
Yeah, or die. Like, they just brought her back and took her back in there. So she got a whole free pass.
Right.
Which was nice. Like,
oh, yeah.
I want the free pass.
Oh, yeah.
Which I also have a theory for that. So.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
All right.
So. But I can't tell these theories until we tell the rest of the story.
All right.
So.
Union conspiracy theories.
They're not really... They're fan theories, but sure.
Conspiracies.
Okay, so they're on this glass game.
So, glass bridge. So, before they go into play game, they have to pick a vest with number 1 through 16.
Yep.
And, Ji-hoon is just kind of like... Not pick, kind of 1 in 16. And some dude comes up and asks if he could have 1. And he gives this taking control of his life from decisions. So he lets him have number 1, and he goes with 16. Yep. For the glass first and so on, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
You know? So the further back you are, the better
chance you have of making it across, because everybody's already gone before you, and hopefully have already broken out the glass that you can't stand on. So it turns out that being the last one is a good thing and also a bad thing, because they do have a timer. So being last one is great because the path is already paved for you.
Yeah.
But if they don't do it fast enough, then you're gonna run out. You're gonna run out of time
and die. Yeah. So they start the game, and dude makes first one, second one gives out, and then it just progresses from there.
Right.
It gets to the point where it's our bad guy, Snakeface.
Yep.
It's right behind the guy in front, and he's telling him make moves and stuff. He ends up jumping across to where dude is and throws him to the next tile, which ends up falling through.
Yeah.
Then behind him, we have Gold Digger.
Yes.
So when he betrayed, I can't even talk, golly.
Betrayed.
Yeah. And she ends up pretty much sacrificing herself to kill him.
Yeah, pretty much. She pulls him off the side of it
into
along
the
with
next
her
tile, which breaks through.
Yeah.
And then you have pretty much at that point 67 main character and his best friend and one random guy.
Yes.
So there's 4 people there. And the random guy used to be a glass worker, so you can tell which glass is tempered and which one is not because of the light in the room.
Yeah.
So they get pretty much to the last tile.
It was the last 3 tiles.
Well, no, they get to the last one. They make it to the last one before the end of it. And he's trying to look at it, and they shut the lights off on him.
Because they know that he can tell the difference. Yeah. But before that, Ji-hoon used a marble.
No, it was
after?
It was after.
Oh, okay.
Because he couldn't tell, but you can tell by sound.
Yeah, so they know that
they need something to throw on the glass.
Yeah.
So he could hear it, and Ji-hoon had the marble, so he gave it to him to throw. And he wasn't sure and was taking too much time, so Ji-hoon's friend...
San-woo.
pretty much jumps to the dude and just throws him into the next one, which he lands on the untempered.
Yep.
And breaks through and he dies. And then they escape. And then
those 3 were able to jump.
Yeah.
For the rest ones.
As they're saying on the end of the bridge, like all of the glass starts to explode.
Explodes like, oh my god, it's
crazy. And
crazy.
they get hit with glass and stuff and cuts and all of that.
Yeah.
Then they end up going back to their bunk room and it's just the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And they end up having a
pretty formal dinner.
Yeah, they're giving like really nice clothes and stuff.
Yeah,
and they have
tuxedos.
To go change.
They're getting tuxes and they have to put them on. And so that's at that point.
And it follows 67 to the bathroom.
Yes,
where you see she has this giant piece of glass
shard, like a huge piece of shard
in her
stomach.
Yeah,
yeah.
So she has to yank it out.
Yeah, and it's deep too. Yeah. It is deep.
I would just try to break it off. That way, because when you pull it out, it starts bleeding out.
Yeah,
but if you try to break it off, it's plugged.
True.
So there's that. And she's bleeding out pretty much, and she tries to wrap it. And they have this really nice formal dinner and shit.
They get like steak
and just all this grilled veggies
really good
and stuff. It looked so good too. I was hungry after I watched that.
I'm sure you were.
So yeah, that happens, and she doesn't really eat. And when they're cleaning up, they leave them all a knife.
Yep.
The steak knife. Which is weird.
It is weird that they would leave them a knife.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's strange. But yes, they leave them all a knife. And then they go and they get ready for bed.
Yeah. And this really attests to the main character's, like, how good of a person he is. He goes and talks to 67 because he notices she didn't
hardly eat. Yeah.
So, he's asking her, like, what's wrong and stuff, and he finds out she's just, like, bleeding out, and he tries to go get help, and as he's banging on the door for guards to come in.
Yep. The door's open.
Yeah.
And they come in
with a
box.
Yeah. One of the dead people boxes.
Because then we find out, when they turn around, we find out that Sang-woo killed her with the knife.
And right before he found out that she was bleeding, Ji-han was going to go kill him in his sleep, but she told him not to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he sees that he killed her and he goes to attack him, but the guards stopped them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because obviously they need a finale.
Yeah. So then they go into the... What?
Your leg.
What about it? I'll see it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they go into the finale game, the final game, which is the Squid Game.
Yes, which is like a playground game.
Yeah, it's a playground game. I don't remember the rules for it, so I'm not going to sit here and describe it.
Right.
But, so it's just Ji-han and his friend.
But they're not really playing the game. Like,
they start off
playing it.
Yeah, and, Ji-han ends up throwing, like, a handful of dirt in his friend's face, and they end up fighting pretty much. And it starts raining.
Yeah.
So it's this, like, very cool, rainy fight scene. And Ji-han pretty much is about to kill his friend, but instead of stabbing him, he just stabs the knife into the ground next to his head.
Yeah.
And says he wants to quit the game.
Yeah.
That way they both can survive.
Yep.
And he wants to end the game. And then he goes to help his friend up, and he just grabs a knife.
Yep.
His friend grabs a knife and just stabs himself in the neck.
Yep.
Yeah, just kills himself.
Yep.
And that ends the game, and Ji-han wins.
But he doesn't like...
It's a twist way of how it... I didn't think it would end like that. You know, with his friend killing himself like that. But it was good.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Oh,
like,
so weird, but good.
I'm glad that he won. You know?
And it was like 48 billion won.
Something like that.
Which is like, I don't know how much that would be in USD. But yeah, so that happens. He ends up winning, and they...
So, something we skipped over a long time ago was like the first time that he went home after they quit the first round.
Yeah.
He found out that his mom was sick.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she was diabetic.
Yeah.
And so dying, she needed a surgery. And so, of course, he goes back in there to try to win the money
into the game,
to help his mom get that surgery. After he wins the game, he goes back home. that's when he finds out that his mom actually passed away while he was in the game. So at this point, his mom passed away. His daughter's moving to America. Yeah. Like, he kind of just doesn't have, like...
any options.
Any motivation, really. He doesn't... We see him still struggling.
Yeah. So, that's the catalyst for him going back into the game.
Yeah.
To try and win. And he does. So by the way, so, like, 48 billion won is, like, about 40 million USD.
Oh, okay.
Anyways... So he ends up winning, and they pretty much just drop him off on the side of the road after the game, and he coughs up a debit card.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he coughed
and
it up.
that's where all of his winnings is in that bank account.
Yep.
But he ends up going home and finding out his mother's died while he was gone. So this was, maybe a week later from when he went back?
Yeah.
Yeah, about...
pretty much.
5 days later, I would say. 5-6 days later. So he finds out that his mother's died, and he pretty much just goes homeless.
Pretty much.
Point, just
even though he has all that money,
he doesn't want to use it.
He doesn't want to use it because the way that he earned it, so many people that he got close with died for him to get this money.
Oh yeah.
So he just doesn't use it.
And that's just sad.
It is sad.
It was just sad to see him, go downhill like that.
Yeah.
Then, like, his bank ends up calling him to come in. Like, they send a call for him and stuff.
Yep.
To talk about his bank account and stuff. And this is where he really finds out he doesn't use his money. But they're talking about, helping him, make more money and stuff.
Yeah, earn interest on the money.
On his money by doing banking stuff. I don't know how banking works. I don't know what savings and checkings is. That's it.
Right.
Everything else is beyond me. And he pretty much stands up to leave, but before he leaves, he asks if he could borrow
10,000 won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then ends up leaving, and it cuts to later at night where he's sitting on, like, a beach drinking, and this woman comes up trying to sell flowers, and he ends up buying one from her, but there's a card on it.
Yep.
And it's the same kind of card they got from the guy at the train station.
Yep.
And it said to meet his friend at this location on December 7th at a certain time.
Well, it said to meet Nibiku or whatever. Like, it's a word for friend.
For a friend, yeah.
Yeah.
So his friend.
Okay.
And it turns out the old man's still alive.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he's alive.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, what?
Right. And it turns out the old man was running the whole game.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was in charge of it all.
Yep. And along with that revelation, also, the cop found his brother. The brother was helping run the game as well.
Yes.
And the brother shot him.
Yep. Killed him.
I don't know if he actually died or not. It never showed a body.
It never did show a body. He fell into the water, but it never showed a body.
Maybe he's still alive.
Maybe for the next season.
So there's two revelations, like the brother.
Yep.
The cop found his brother, who was helping run the game and stuff. The old man was the one that put it all together.
Yes, and he had been running it for... So he had been running it for, like, all these years, and he decided that because he was dying, he didn't want to just sit there and watch. He wanted to play.
Yeah, and have fun.
So this is where, since we know this now, this is where this comes in. So, like, the theory that the things that we should have picked up on were, like, so if you looked closely when they did red light, green light, and they scanned the people, the old man wasn't being scanned.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was the green scanners that went on to people. Yeah. They weren't scanning him. That's why he was able to run through so happily and so freely. He wasn't being scanned. He knew he wasn't going to be killed, right? Okay, so, and then for the second game, or, was it the second game? He already knew,
Sugar
obviously.
Cookie?
He knew.
Or honeycomb?
He knew everything already. Yeah. You know, he already knew everything. Basically, I feel like the reason why they wanted to kill him off on the marble game was because, like, that was the last game that they played where it was, like, a guaranteed that he probably wouldn't die.
Yeah.
Versus, like, if they tried to do... He obviously couldn't do the glass
Yeah, I don't
bridge.
think physically, I don't think he'd be able to jump across.
Yeah. So, that's why at that point they took him out of the game.
Yeah.
So, they specifically did it. That's why he gave that last marble to him. Because he knew, like, he couldn't go to the next round.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. So, I mean, that wasn't the fan theories. That was stuff to...
Yeah.
That was stuff that
just little clues that you could have picked up on.
that we could have picked up on, but we didn't.
I mean, like, watching it the first time through, you wouldn't, catch that, really.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't catch that and miss scanning him, maybe.
Also, we didn't catch that all the games were on the wall.
Oh, yeah, of the bunk rooms.
Yeah.
Like, if you look... There's a scene that does like a circle view of the bunk room when it's just the three of them left, showing each one. And on the walls, there's the games that they've played.
Yep.
Which I thought that was cool.
It was cool. So now we're like in this random open building, office building.
Yeah, office building.
And Ji-hoon is talking to the old man, and he finds out that like he is the mastermind behind all of this. And
as he's laying there, he's watching this homeless guy who people are just passing by. And he makes a bet with Ji-hoon that no one's going to help him.
Yeah.
But someone ends up helping him.
At the very last.
Yeah, like before midnight.
Yeah.
But I don't think the old man saw it. I think he died before.
I think maybe he
did,
right
before. So he ends up dying. Do you see the cop's brother come in after Ji-hoon has left?
Yeah.
Probably to attend to the body.
Most likely.
Then
the cop's brother is called the help man or whatever.
The front man.
The front man, yeah. The front man.
Anyways, pretty much just front desk guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then cuts to Ji-hoon going to get his hair cut because he has that cool, like, I think it's cool, kind of like, how do I describe it? Kind of like, I don't know how to describe this.
He dyes his hair red.
No, not his fucking hair being red. Oh. Like how his hair looks. Like he looks rough, but has that kind of like...
Oh, yeah.
With some, old look to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, he ends up getting his haircut, and spoiler alert, he ends up getting it dyed red.
Yes.
Golly.
Which it was like...
Which now he looks like the main protagonist of anime.
Any anime, yes.
Yes. Because he's the only one with dyed hair.
Bright red hair.
Facts. And he ends up buying a ticket to go to
Los Angeles.
But before he leaves, he finds 67's brother, because that's why she was playing the game, to help her brother and mother, because they're from North Korea.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he ends up finding her brother, and he's in an orphanage, and he pretty much adopts him out and leaves him with
Sang-woo.
Yeah, Sung-woo's mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a suitcase full of money.
That was kind of nice because, like, she got another son and he got a mom.
A new family, yeah.
Yeah, so that was really nice. Like,
but what about,
I love that little scene.
What about 67's mom? She's still in North Korea, man.
I know. Maybe he's gonna go help her. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. So, yeah, he ends up leaving her brother with his friend's mom. Sung-woo's mom. I keep forgetting, I don't know why.
Yeah.
CRS. Mom with a suitcase full of nothing but money.
Yep.
And he just leaves. And then it cuts him leaving to go to the airport, and he's on a train station, and he hears like this slapping sound, and he looks across the tracks, and it's the same dude he met in the beginning.
Yeah, so it means that the games are not over.
Yeah, the game is still going on.
Yeah.
And he runs back upstairs, around and back down to try and stop him.
Yeah.
But the dude gets on the train and leaves, and he pretty much takes the card from the dude that was playing the game with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and tell him don't do it and stuff.
Don't do it, yeah, don't
I wonder if he gave him any money, though.
Yeah, I know, I wonder.
Yeah. So he takes the card with him, and he's leaving, and he's in the what's that called? Going on to the plane, the
jetway?
The jetway, yeah. About to get on the plane, and he stops, and he pulls out his phone and calls the number.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same game.
If you want to play, state your name and your birth date.
Yeah.
And
pretty much ends there in season 1. Much. Hopefully there's another season.
Oh, there's definitely going to be another season.
You never know, man. They could just cliffhanger it. Yeah.
It's too big. There has to be another season.
Daybreakers was freaking amazing, but they just ended that.
I'm just saying, there has to be. Too many unresolved things. Like, there has to be. But yeah.
Well, not really. The only unresolved thing is the game's still going on and who's doing it now. You know?
Because instead of him going, like he calls the number, and then we see him, instead of him getting on the plane, he does not get on the plane. Which means that he's going to go back, and he's going to do something. He's not going to go see his daughter in America. He's going to go back, and he's going to probably go back and try to stop the games.
Yeah, he should just went to America.
He should have. So, like, the fan theories that I have been reading is that the old man is actually his father.
Right.
Because there's so many, like, the neighborhood scene, how, like, when they were playing marbles, and how, like, him and Jihan both lived in the same neighborhood.
Right. Or same type of neighborhood.
Yeah, but he said that it was very familiar. Like,
but you gotta think about it. How many people live in Korea in general? Yeah. They have a lot of similar builds throughout neighborhoods, though, you know?
But, like, the old man could have easily have left him and his mom. Because it doesn't ever mention anything about his dad.
Yeah.
So he could have left him when he was really young to go pursue this thing, you know? The part where, like, they meet back up after the first round.
Oh, yeah.
And they meet up, and, like, he's in the neighborhood, remember? And he's like, oh, do you live in this neighborhood? Oh, yeah. And he's like, no, but I'm staying with friends, and I have, like, unresolved stuff here that they need to take care of, you know? So it could have been, like, him checking in on him and his mom. Yeah. You know?
It's possible.
There was, and there was also, there was some more, like, clues that pointed to it. And I'm, like, totally forgetting them right now, but there are some more clues, that he is his... Oh, so when he gave him, like, his jacket, you know, they were saying, like, not only did he give him the jacket... Like, he was giving them a jacket for protection, because they know that if the guards saw a number 1 on his back, they weren't going to kill him, because the number 1 was his jacket.
Yeah, the old man gave him the jacket because... He gave him his jacket to cover his pants.
Yeah, but, like, they're saying that there was more to it, like, that he wanted to protect him, you know, because... So there was that. And there was a couple more theories, too, that I just can't remember. Yeah. But they all really pointed to that this is possibly his father.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why he took such a interest in him, you know?
Or maybe just saw that he was a good person and, you know, saw that he had a lot of heart, and even though he made mistakes, you know, he was worth betting on. Right.
But
because that's always the possibility as well.
Yes, there is. But so those are, like, some of the theories that I have read, that he's actually his dad. So.
Yeah. My favorite thing I've seen after Squid Games was a TikTok of the actor who played Ollie, and it said, "Don't worry, he has his marbles," and he got a pack of marbles from like the I think it might have been from like the cast and crew. Yeah, and that's just hilarious. I got my marbles. So aside from Jihan, Ollie is definitely one of the best characters.
Oh yes, definitely.
And I really like the old man too. I found out that he was the one doing all of this.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, fuck.
Shit. You know?
Yeah. It's like, this is depressing. But
yeah, like, it was such a good show. It's definitely worth watching. If you have not watched it, watch it. But make sure you set enough... Like, make sure you have a lot of time set aside, because if you start the first episode, you're just going to binge watch it. Yeah. You are going to get hooked in. You are going to binge watch it. I think we watched it in a day and like a half. Yeah. Like, it was so fast.
Because we had to go to sleep.
Like, because we had to go to sleep. Because, I mean...
I think the only show I've ever binge watched besides Squid Games like that was Lion King. Or no, not Lion King. Tiger King.
Tiger King?
Yeah. But that's because I was like middle of the night too. I was like, I'll play on in.
Oh, there's so many that I have just like gotten hooked into and just binge watch. Like Wentworth, I remember staying awake all night just binging the crap out of that show. I loved it so much. I can't wait for the new season. But yes.
Oh, they still making seasons?
Yes. Like there's going to be another one. So I'm excited. But yeah, so this is definitely one that is going to hook in and grab you and just...
Yeah, there's just a lot that we probably missed and
I'm sure there is plenty that we missed.
Well, like 10 episodes or 9 episodes.
So there's
there's
plenty
a
that we
lot.
missed,
There's a lot to catch, and hopefully we left some spoilers for people who still haven't got a chance to watch it.
Definitely.
But it's good. It's straight up good. I think we should do Midnight Mass in another episode.
We probably should, because we've already talked about this for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Almost an hour and a half.
So yeah, we definitely we'll get to Midnight Mass, but definitely in another episode.
Oh yeah, but
because I feel like we're going to get to the point where we're kind of tired of talking about it or tired of talking into the mic, and our brains are just going to be like drifting off, and we really want to like talk about it because I really enjoyed it.
We'll do part 2. We'll do part 2. Just look out for part 2.
Totally.
But yeah, Squid Games, definitely I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10 because the only thing I didn't really, actually there's nothing I didn't not like about it.
What about Gold Digger's voice actress that was way over the top?
I loved that. I actually loved that.
So well too.
So if you have the chance, I would probably watch it in dubbed because unless you want to read subtitles, which is totally fine. Yeah. But if you really want to see like over the top voice acting, definitely watch it in dubbed. Yeah.
I found it funny.
I found it hilarious.
It was only her character that was so over the top.
Over the top.
Everyone was kind of like,
Well, I mean, because they have to be almost over the top because sometimes but
in comparison to every other character, she was just like way out there.
But she was kind of crazy, so it fit. It worked.
I wonder if they did each separate, so she didn't know how other people were, voicing. Maybe. So she just kind of went over the top, just in case.
Maybe.
And they
but that character was over the top anyway, so it worked.
It was funny.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good show.
More than I thought I would, honestly. Yeah. Way more than I thought I would.
Oh no, so speaking of fan theories and stuff, I don't think it's fan theory, but it's just kind of like a funny nod. So at the end where you see the Duke on the train that, recruits people, I saw this TikTok, it's like, this is what happens after you get on a train, and it goes into another Korean film, it's Train to Busan or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's a zombie movie.
Oh, okay.
But it is one of the
I definitely want to watch
high
more
up ones
Korean,
that is far reaching in other countries. It's one of their. It's up there with Parasite and Host type movies. But yeah, it was just a funny kind of nod at oh, this is what happened to that character now.
Oh, okay.
Where they just made a kind of a little link to it. Because I think it might have been the same actor as well. Yeah. But, so yeah, overall, just definitely a lot more, Korean movies and stuff that I would like to watch.
Yeah, me too.
Host, Parasite, Taxi. They have a bunch of good movies and stuff. It's just me getting time to find where I can watch them at and having, I guess, patience to sit down and watch a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it was good. Definitely take a gander, take a look, take a peek, watch it.
Watch it with your peepers.
Watch it. It's so good.
It is good. Definitely 8 to 9 out of 10. But I guess that's it. Where can the peeps find you at? Where can the chumps find you at?
Well, to be honest, I don't even remember because the last time I gave out information, it wasn't right. So
you want to update it?
So I don't really. I don't know. I don't have anything that's really relatable to this podcast.
Just your show sources. It doesn't have to be relatable.
Well, I mean, if you guys want to look for me, then I know my TikTok is.
I wish I could lose you and not look for you.
He's so mean to me.
Love you too.
Mean. So pretty much all of my social media is Beanie K. So it's capital B, or it's going to be a lowercase b, EANIEK89. So pretty much that's everything. And I have a photography page I just started. And
on
Instagram. It's also Beanie K. It's Beanie K Photos by Beanie K or something like that. Anyways, but that's pretty much it. Other than that, I don't post regularly, so don't be expecting things every day because I don't do it.
For mine, it's usually just Thick Boy Derp. That's ThickKboy DERPP. PP. Mm-hmm. If not, you can find me at Toxic or Toxicant Drip is usually the @ because I did a name change a little while ago, and I hate that you can't change your @ Yeah. You should be able to. That'd be real nice. So Instagram is Thick Boy Derp. Let's see what my TikTok is _derp with 2 P's. You can find us on Twitter. I forgot to throw this one out. I do believe it is OPC Podcasts at Twitter. On Twitter. It's been a while since I've actually been on our Twitter
podcast page.
Yeah. Also, we do have an Instagram page as well. It's OPC Podcast on Instagram. Just come hang out, find us. Just tell us what you want to hear, what you want to see, what you want to do. With that being said, I guess that's that.
I guess it's goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now,
Ta-ta.
my friends.
Ta-ta for now. TTFN.
Napoleon, give me some of your tots.
Yeah.
No. Kicks leg. Alright, skadoosh.
Bye.
I gotta find a button, hon.